So lately, I've been seeing a lot of Omni-Man disrespect on the web when it comes to a versus battle between him and Metro Man from the Megamind movie, which, not gonna lie, is one of the best Dreamworks films ever. Aside from that though, it is quite an interesting battle at first glance because both characters are super strong, fly hella fast, and have a cape resembling the OG Superman. However, when it comes to feats, statements, and other stuff as showcased in the Image comics, who would really be able to win? Metro Man or Nolan Grayson, aka Omni-Man? Just as a word of note, this video will be going over the comics, which the show clearly hasn't caught up on, so if you don't want to be spoiled on stuff, click off now. Now that that's out of the way, let's get right into it. First off, let's go over Omni-Man, who has showcased super impressive feats and would scale from multiple characters in the Image comics. For starters, he has lived for over 2,000 years, is trained in martial arts, and his physical strength is so immense that he was able to divert a meteor the size of Texas and punch through an unstable planet with 1.25 times the gravity of Earth alongside his son and a key character in later seasons, Thetis, making him at least multi-continental right off the bat. But he can be argued to be planetary due to the fact that comparable and inferior characters are already capable of dealing with multi-continental or life-wiping levels of power, and much higher. For instance, in a canon event, two villains known as Set and Thoth were stated as being able to turn worlds into husks, and to have basically life-wiped multiple other planets in their scuffles. Or for instance, with a bounty hunter called Null, who although did defeat Tech Jacket, another important character in later seasons, had some slight difficulty with him, while Viltrumites were able to overpower Tech Jacket much better, and obviously Omni-Man would scale above average Viltrumites. Null was powerful enough to one-shot a character that was called a Planet Eater, so take that how you will. It can either be interpreted as being a life wiper or a literal planet buster. Omni-Man may have had some difficulty against the Guardians of the Globe in the show, but in the comics, he effortlessly took care of them in the first time around. Even if you don't want to use this as the main interpretation, Omni-Man was later able to fend off dozens upon dozens of trained Viltrumite hybrids that should scale above an early Oliver, Mark's brother, who was able to overpower the Mauler twins, who were then able to overpower the Guardians of the Globe, including the Immortal. And I mean, he was so strong that merely charging at him killed them. So all I'm saying here is that the Immortal does not really scale to Omni-Man as it might seem in the show. There's also higher scaling that is in my opinion a highball or wank, but it is stated in the guidebooks that Omnipotus, a later villain who will likely appear in Season 2, is able to rewrite time and space, and is also strong enough to contain energies immense enough to cause a chain reaction that destroyed an entire solar system. Although his power level was not clearly stated in all the battles, it is worthy to note that a tired Invincible was able to hold him off and Dinosaurus one-shotted him easily. This is very important since Grand Regent Thrag, another key character in later seasons, was completely unfazed by a bite from Dinosaurus, yet Omni-Man on the other hand was able to impress him and damage him unlike last time, inferring that he got stronger since the Viltrumite Wars, where he had gotten totally on, to be honest. But it is not really a bad thing to be on by Grand Regent Thrag since he is super sweaty, has thousands of years of experience, and knows many forms of martial arts combat. And he was even able to defeat Battle Beast, who is so insane that he was able to fend off multiple Viltrumites at the same time. If Omni-Man is at least relative to Battle Beast and Thrag, this means that he would scale above multiple Viltrumites, who already scale from multi-continental to arguably planetary levels of power. He also scales from Invincible's own durability, which allowed him to effortlessly tank a nuke that is strong enough to create a solar flare, which is freaking crazy, because if we fired all of our nukes at the sun, assuming that they could travel all the way there, they would likely not be powerful enough to induce a solar flare, which releases millions to billions of times more energy than a nuclear bomb. And the technology in Invincible is far superior to that of our universe, so it is not far-fetched that they would have stuff that powerful enough to do that. Viltrumites do have a weakness, being that if they're exposed to high levels of heat or cold for long periods of time, their smart atoms would start to break down. But these atoms do make them extremely durable and allows them to fly at super fast speeds. For instance, even as a massive lowball, Omni-Man is able to reach high hypersonic speeds, being that Mark was able to reach Antarctica in less than half a minute with more than 10 seconds to spare on a bomb. His speeds are confirmed to rival starships, which are able to reach many star systems worth of distance in several days, making him FTL plus quite comfortably. He would also scale from Invincible, who in his battle with Alan the Alien reached the moon in a few seconds, making them relativistic or near light speeds in combat quite easily. But he is able to reach even faster speeds through acceleration, which in turn with some subspace jumping, allows him to reach massively faster than light speeds, which helped him reach the Mantis Race planet in about a week, which is in the Virgo supercluster galaxy, which is in turn 65 million light years away from Earth, giving him speeds of over 3.3 billion times the speed of light right off the bat. I know some people may bring up that this is only applicable to their travel speeds, but they are likely capable of operating at these speeds in combat and reaction times too, being that Alan the Alien, who is stated as having comparable combat reflexes to his flight speed, was blitzed and on multiple times by Omni-Man early on. I'm not saying they can operate at millions to billions of times the speed of light all the time, but they are able to reach and adjust to those speeds as needed. In essence, canon Image Comics Omni-Man is comfortably multi-continental to planetary in raw attack potency and durability, and it can reach high hypersonic to FTL to even massively faster than light speeds at max. So now that we have gone over the Viltrumite, how strong is his opposition, Dreamworks' Metro Man? Well, not very strong at all. All we can infer is that he's at least superior to Titan, who was able to casually lift a part of a huge building, go ham on multiple city blocks, and fly fast enough to break the sound barrier. I will say though, in terms of speed, he is quite impressive as he was able to rethink his life and perform multiple activities in less than the span of time it took for Megamind's laser to reach him, which decimated an observatory. We don't get exact specifics of Megamind's weapon, but it is stated to be a death ray, and it does seem to create a laser using the full concentrated power of the sun. So, if it's firing concentrated sunlight, it can be argued to being light speed, and as such, Metro Man would be massively faster than light as well. But that is arguing that the laser does fire at the speed of light to begin with. Even if we were to assume that it is literal, that it channels the power of the sun, it still wouldn't mean much since Metro Man wasn't even hit by it to begin with. There have been calculations of how fast he might have been going, which have him anywhere from being massively hypersonic to being a decent percentage of the speed of light. Now, I don't think this calc gives the definite answer to his speed to a T, and he could be calculated higher somehow, but it gives us a decent measure of how fast he could be going. But we'll say as a low ball, he is massively hypersonic, and with a high ball, he is massively faster than light. Sure, we don't know Metro Man's full potential, but we can't say for sure it is anywhere near Omni-Man's strength feats. Claiming so would be burden of proof. It would be like me saying that Darkseid from the Justice League movie can destroy an omniverse, even though nothing in the movie infers that. Or that Saitama can destroy a multiverse. Just because we haven't seen a character's full potential doesn't mean we can't scale them to what's been shown, nor does it mean we can highball them well past their presented or otherwise implied showings. Although I could see a highballed Metro Man keep up with Omni-Man, assuming he is well beyond baseline light speed, it is more likely that his bones would break trying to hurt Omni-Man in the first place, much like how Moro broke his hand trying to hit Goku. I'd honestly find it hard to see Metro Man being able to hurt much weaker characters like Brit, who was able to endure a days-long beating from a character that absorbed the power of nukes. And remember, Brit got done by Omnipotus, who then got one-shotted by Dinosaurus, who was unable to hurt Thrag, yet Omni-Man was able to. So I hope that puts it into perspective into how outmatched Metro Man is here. His heat vision could maybe give him some trouble at first glance, but Omni-Man's smart atoms would likely resist its high temperature output, and it'd be stretching it to say that it could damage Omni-Man to begin with, since Viltrumites have literally fought in the sun. You could even argue that his heat vision wouldn't be able to hit him to begin with, since even Megamind could react to them. They are at least able to destroy a city over time, like we saw from Titan, as he was wreaking havoc on Metro City. But come on, what is that compared to someone who can hit with enough force to split apart countries, continents, and planets? I'd also like to add on that if we were to scale Omni-Man to his crossovers, he would absolutely stomp Metro Man even more, being that he was skilled from Supreme, who has done insane stuff, and skills from other characters like Suprema. First off, Supreme has confirmed nanosecond reaction times and can operate well beyond the speed of light. He's also been able to pierce through planets in his scuffles unharmed, while Suprema has been stated as being able to sew black holes and play kickball with stars, making these characters planetary to star levels right off the bat, although they can be scaled higher since Suprema has even lifted an entire universe, which Supreme should scale to. This is important since Omni-Man was actually able to stalemate Supreme and endure his heat vision and their battle. In short, if we're using canon comics Omni-Man and Metro-Man at their average levels of power, Omni-Man would stomp easily. If we're using a highballed Metro-Man, he could give Omni-Man some trouble in speed, but would ultimately get destroyed being that he has no strength feats on Omni-Man's level to even being able to hurt him. And I'd honestly not even put that much confidence on the highballed Metro-Man speed scaling, since it would require a lot of headcanon to even put it at the max speeds that we have seen Omni-Man reach, which is over 3.3 billion times the speed of light for reference. Metro-Man does have an advantage being that he can move at super speeds without acceleration, but it'd be a reach to calculate it as being billions of times the speed of light. Metro-Man also would not have the strength necessary to stop Omni-Man from building up speed if you somehow argued that he needed the additional speed boost. It is worthy to note that even someone as fast as the Immortal is over 100 times slower than a Viltrumite, and that is saying a lot, since he's fast enough to enter escape velocity, which requires speeds of over Mach 32. I would like to mention that Omni-Man is also weak to high intensity sound waves, and being hit in the ears would affect his equilibrium and flight, but Metro-Man wouldn't know that. Even assuming that Metro-Man was fast enough to keep up with Omni-Man, Omni-Man has fought for over 2,000 years and is skilled enough to somewhat fight off Thrag, who was taught in all forms of combat. So all in all, even if you wanted to give Metro-Man the speed advantage, he would lack the battle IQ, durability, strength, stamina, and experience to defeat Omni-Man. So yeah, GG's. Some people seem to think that just because a character is faster that they will automatically win a battle, but that is only accounting if the character is strong enough or has abilities to damage their ops in the first place, which in Metro-Man's case is clearly not even comparable, much less relative to Omni-Man's strength feats. Anyways, I hope that puts the debate to rest and people stop disrespecting that boy Nolan. So thanks for watching, please subscribe, and I'll catch you thotties next time. Peace out.